if they did indeed do nothing. What's your reaction to that?
My reaction is, wow, Farhan Zaidi does not believe that this team is good enough to win the World Series. Because if you really believed in this team, you would add to it. You would find a way to incrementally improve this team. Because I look at what you're dealing with right now with a pitching staff that is 2 starters deep. You're going to get to September, and I have a feeling that you're going to start to run out of arms, and you have an offense that has become tough to watch. You've got automatic outs littered throughout your lineup, and you've got injuries across the board. And yes, you're 9 games above, and you're the wild card leader, but what teams do at this spot where you are going to not go all in, because you're not going to trade multiple prospects for a 10-week rental, but I think if you have faith in your team, you're going to look to add and improve them. Yeah,
I agree with that. I would have liked, and it was sort of disappointing when I heard Farhan say this yesterday, and it's with regard to the starting pitching market. First, this is what he said, because I think a lot of people expected starting pitcher. I look around the lineup in the field, and even though it might underwhelm you as a lineup, what's the actual spot where you're like, I want that guy out. I want him sent down, or maybe Casey Schmidt, but he's been a little bit better as of late. So who are you putting on the bench? Whose at bats are you taking away? It's a more complex question than maybe you'd think with a team that's having a hard time scoring runs, but I really wanted a starter. But my thing was, you got to answer the question of who's starting that that mythical game 3 in a playoff series, but that dream sounded like it went away when he said this yesterday.
Obviously, there's been some movement. We had I thought, really good weekend of pitching with Stripling and Minaya pitching really well. And again, I don't think we view the opener as like some core philosophy that we're trying to champion. But we've had a lot of success in those games, and a lot of that comes from the ability to feature our bullpen, which has been a strength of the team. So we've got to be careful about the workload with the bullpen. But if there's a way to manage a game where we get quality out of our starters like we got this weekend, but we can also feature our bullpen, which is really effective, especially when put in good matchups, that's just a good way for us to win games. Obviously, we've been very successful in those games.
So that's the thing. And to me, that's where I see a rub. He and Gabe Kapler and everybody else, Pete Patel, everybody involved over there, they have shown, and by the way, Rosenthal reports, Erod stays put. Eduardo Rodriguez remains a Tiger, so that's done. And he is a forever Giant as well for turning down the Dodgers. But what we have here is a group of people who know how to win baseball games in sort of a quirky way. What we don't have here is a group that seems to know how to get its fan base excited about what they're doing. This is going to, if we got some time here still, but if nothing happens, this is going to be received very, very negatively by the fan base. I don't know that it means that the Giants can't keep winning ball games. I know that the fan base is going to receive this very, very negatively.
Right. It feels like you are the New Orleans Pelicans. You're just fighting for that 8th seed. Oh, we're a playoff team. And then you get in the playoffs and you don't have enough talent. You don't have the roster to compete and really do what Giants fans are thirsty for. Because if you remember 10, 12, and 14, and most Giants fans should, because that's only 13, 11, and 9 years ago, you remember the magic and the excitement down there at Oracle Park back when it was Pac Bell and all the rest of it. And it was a thing. It was a happening. And this team, it's winning. It's a winning team. You go back to 107 wins. That was phenomenal. Best in franchise history. Last year, 81-81. Okay, not a disaster. Certainly a letdown. 26 wins fewer than the year before. And this year is trending toward 89 wins and what in the postseason? Probably not a lot, I would imagine.
Who knows?
But that, I think, is the feeling of the fan base.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It feels like you don't have the weapons. You don't have hitters that can hit elite pitching. You don't have a lot of pitchers who can walk out there and go, I'm doing 8 shutout innings tonight and handing the ball to Camilo Duvall. But you think about that opening short series if they get there, 3-gamer. They actually feel somewhat equipped for that. If you wanted to do Webb Cobb opener, I don't think that's a disaster. But what happens when the series does get bigger? What happens when it goes to 7 games? Normally, you do need to answer, who's our Game 4 starter? The Giants they're not even able to tell you who their Game 3 starter is. So, I don't know. This one's a tough one for me because the second I saw Giolito go to the Angels, I texted you guys and I go, out.
Yeah.
On the starting pit. These prices are out of whack. It's like buying orange juice in Hawaii. Go over there. It's ridiculous.
Is it?
Yeah, it's like $11 or whatever.
That's a long way from Florida.
I mean, what are we doing here?
This from Susan Slusser.
Okay.
Nothing from the Giants expected. They're not among the teams with deals trickling in the next hour. Susan Slusser on Twitter. So I'm not trying to throw a wet blanket on your hopes over the next 20 minutes, but
no,
Sluss is saying
it's
that
3:10.
But there's going to be some trickling.
Yeah.
There's some trickle. Shout out the great Dick Trickle.
Or Cole Trickle.
They were related.
Yep.
Son of a trickle. Son of a trickler. Susan Slusser saying they will not be among the tricklers.
Dominic Leone.
Saw that.
Former Giant. Goes from the Mets to the Angels. And now Shohei is really impressed.
Mm-hmm.
Dominic Leone is on the move. Yeah, look.
Mets acquiring Phil Bickford and Adam Kolarek from the Dodgers, according to a source familiar with the deal.
That's kind of interesting.
Phil Bickford, former Giant. He was a draft pick, I believe.
Phil Bickford?
I thought so.
He never played for the team, though, did he?
No, but I believe he was drafted by the Giants.
Yeah.
Minor leaguer.
They never played for the... Yeah, okay. Interesting. I guess he got designated for assignment just a few days ago. I didn't even realize that.
Designated for a haircut.
Yeah. Well, that's always... Anyway.
That's mean.
Like that's the hard part. This deadline is a snapshot of the whole regime, which is to say, look, we're not making a deal. We're not making a bad deal just to make you happy. We're not doing it. And the fan base responds and goes, fine. Then we're not happy. And the Giants will go, don't you see all of our wins? And they'll go, sure. And then the Giants fan will say, but don't you see all of our boredom? And we'll go, yes, but we believe that winning is fun. And they go, yes, but... And that's the back and forth.